Hello, everyone. Lee Henson here from AgileDad, president and founder, and welcome to today's edition of the Daily Stand-Up. Without any further ado, let's get started. Today I want to talk about a student who attended one of my classes. It was back in May of 2020, and his name is Franky, and Franky, I hope you don't mind me sharing your real name here, but he came on and wrote a guest blog post for us, and it was about a topic that I often discussed, but I really didn't have a good way to pin it down to make it fulfilling but still safe to talk about. And it's called Time for T, or Team Enforced Accountability, TEA. And let's break it down the way he did. So I'm going to read a little bit from this blog to you and chime in with some comments and some feedback, because I think it's important that we focus on this initiative. And if you want to find this post, you can certainly find it on AgileDad.com at our blog. And the situation goes like this. It says, you've just joined a super awesome company as a Scrum Master. Your very first meeting is with the Vice and President of Most Important Things, the Vulcan product owner, and that one lady, the one with the amazing hair. Immediately, this collection of external observers pounds you with the woes of your newly inherited team. Incomplete stories and sprints, silos of skill sets, ineffective meetings. This is all immediately followed by that one question, of course. As the Scrum Master, what do you intend to do about it? And, while that sounds so far out there, I know many of you are probably laughing under your breath saying, were you looking over my shoulder? It's one of those situations where we hope we'll never be in that situation, but we know that we will be at some point. If you confidently look at that group and tell them, I'm going to make sure the team has time for tea. It may sound so weird, but that is a time where you can really focus on team enforced accountability, or TEA. So TEA, by definition, is the sweet spot of self-organization where team members hold one another accountable rather than relying on an external entity to point out everything that's going wrong. Just like any good tea is not instantly attainable as a state of Scrum Nirvana, but once you get to know your team, there's some simple steps you can do to get well on your way. So I guess, to start, while this topic is kind of one of those ones that's edgy or on the border, it feels to me like, we should have time for tea, and we should remember that, there's instant tea, and then there's tea bags, and there's other ways to do this. And I think that the best tea comes from those who have the right temperature of water and the right tea, and the type that they enjoy the most. So it's important for us to make sure we're not just trying to apply tea, in general. So in order for the team to have tea time, everyone must have the same understanding of expectations. Great tools to foster the understanding are established in team values and team working agreements. I want to make sure you notice the emphasis that, while there's no I in team, there certainly is T in team, right? These values and working agreements are created by the team for the team and should be enforced by the team. Makes perfect sense. It's just, how do we get there? What do we need to do? How can we get to the point where these team working agreements are meaningful and they add punch to what we're trying to do? First, if the team doesn't have clearly defined team values or working agreements, as a Scrum Master or coach, you need to teach the team that through creating one of these, they're going to have better working relationships, and that it's going to be a better environment for everyone involved. The Scrum values are a great place to start, with focus, openness, respect, commitment, and extreme courage. If the team already has established values and working agreements, take time to stop and review them. Assess their relevance. How valuable are they? Do we need to make adjustments? And I think part of it is, do they have teeth? And I know that sounds crazy, but enforcing these values or holding people accountable is a great way to help people understand that this is important. And if they understand the logic why, or what's about to happen, it helps things make a whole lot more sense. And with the team values and working agreements defining the lanes of your road to team enforced accountability, or T time, You can now focus on the time element of it. The time element of T simply refers to the time it will take to foster an environment of open communication and trust, where the members of the team can feel empowered and comfortable holding one another accountable. Leverage all coaching tools at your disposal to facilitate this process. And that's so eloquently written. It's beautifully stated. It's an opportunity for us to take the tools that we have and to empower those around us to make critical decisions, to be able to speak to each other, to be able to get through the Tuckman model of forming, storming, norming, performing. And I think that, as a result of enforcing tea time, you're going to wind up with some high-performing teams. There's no one that understands the ups and downs of a team better than a team itself. External entities see symptoms, but they're likely to miss the actual root cause. How true is that? Oh my goodness, I can't tell you how many times I've been working with teams, and the external people see every symptom in one of them. They're quick to point those out, but they want the Scrum Master to dig in and find all the answers. So team enforced accountability empowers the team to take their self-organization to new levels by creating a space where the team makes and enforces their own rules. Encourage your teams to take time for tea and watch their performance skyrocket. When I first heard the idea of tea time, I thought golf tea. But then when it was explained to me that it was tea time as in tea, I thought it was a very British or UK or, one of those kind of things, where it was time for tea, right? But then when I realized that this tied back to helping teams govern and manage the way that they interact, their communications, their behavior, when I realized that it applied to self-organization and helping teams, take that ball and run with it, I thought, what a brilliant way, what a brilliant idea for us to remember that it's important for us to maintain that focus so that we can have the best tea. And I think the best kind of tea is the tea that we create together as a team and the focus that we gain by doing that. So Franky, you're an awesome student. I can't tell you how much I appreciate your contribution to the AgileDad blog. And I wanted to bring it up again because I think it's something that we are continuously looking past, that we're not taking time to focus on this. And while it's a very important topic, I just want to make sure that we place better emphasis on tea time and that we're encouraging others to dig in and to not be afraid and to really get their head around what they're doing with their team working agreements and how are they putting things in place, tools in place to help the entire organization work better together and communicate better. So I hope this topic was useful to you. As always, we encourage you to submit topics. We got lots of cool topics that have been submitted that we're going to cover over the next couple of weeks, but we need a few more. So I'd love to hear what you feel should be covered in one of our episodes of the podcast. And as always, we encourage you to like and comment and subscribe and to do all those things and to tell your friends about this so that we can expand our audience and get more people involved in the Agile world. So we encourage you to visit AgileDad.com where we got tons of downloads, white papers, other information about this topic and many others. Of course, we invite you to visit the AgileDad blog, which is going to be reworked here in the near future. So it'll be easier for you to find those topics that are of greater importance to you. And as always, we encourage you to stay healthy, stay well, and stay agile, my friends. Until next time, take care.